Yeah, I was wondering if I should do a segment on this, but then it occurred to me that people in chat would get distracted by the subject. So, in response to the JD Vance couch thing, a bunch of right-wingers, and especially Donald Trump Jr., have gotten obsessed with posting memes about Tim Walz drinking horse cum. And in a vacuum, like in a vacuum, this would be funny conditional to it being funny. That's the thing. You have to be funny to be funny. This isn't. But we're not in a vacuum. We're in the real world. And in the real world, Relapse Row? Where did he repost this from? In the real world, it is actually hysterical how mad they are at a single jab from Walz when Trump engages in non-stop objective lying. Like, they are, like, imagine engaging with the weird allegations with this. Like, this is the way that you respond to that. Demonstrating not only how fragile you are, they're literally, like, if he can get off the couch and debate me, and in response, they're like, horse, he fucks horses, horse cum, haha, horse cum Walz, tampon Tim, like, desperate for anything. They don't understand subtlety. Well, I mean, a lot of it is just that it's not funny at all. Remember, the original JD Vance couches thing was just like a little Twitter shitpost that blew up enough that people started vibing with it. It wasn't like a desperate, sweaty attempt to compensate for a jab manufactured by the other side. It was made authentically in the shitposting minds, you know? This is hackneyed fake shit. It's not real shitposting. It's like the kind it's like Elon Musk posting memes where he's getting shit that's been like filtered through Facebook and Instagram, and it's 6 years old and it's incredibly banal. It's like the, I don't know, Twitter meme equivalent of the kind of shit that your uncle would post or whatever. Yeah, Temu shit posting, exactly. Maze. It's inorganic. None of this counts for shit if it's inorganic, you know? More evidence that conservatives are cultural black holes. They can't produce art, humor, anything. Yes, yeah, no kidding. Like, genuinely. Every time like a comedic trend is deliberately manufactured by the right, it is sincerely, incredibly unfunny, constantly. Remember the classic line from Tucker Carlson, "They may have Taylor Swift, but we have cat turd"? That's real, by the way. A classic. They genuinely cannot produce art. No shot he said that? Hold on. Oh, this is stream.org. Did Tucker Carlson not personally say that? Just the article? Oh, I think I might be mixing up the article with something that Tucker Carlson said. Tucker Carlson did have cat turd on and did say another thing that was praising him. Still a great article title, though. Oh, The Blaze. Did they both post the same? February 8th, February 6th. Oh, so they're just reposting a Blaze article. I could buy Glenn Beck saying it. Yeah, maybe. Glenn Beck owns The Blaze. I mean, I don't know if he wrote the article, but anyway, the important point that I'm getting to here is that they're artless. They can't produce art. Conservatism is anathema to art. There's a reason why basically every right-wing grifter online at one point had aspirations for making art in Hollywood, and then it fell through. Like, seriously, you can look. Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, a ton of them are mad that they just didn't get picked up in Hollywood. They were theater kids. Literally, yeah. Candace Owens too, Michael Knowles. Yes, it's like all of them. It's crazy. It's the backstory to all of them. The obsession with AI art too. Conservatives like AI generated art because they hate artists, you know? There's a reason why it was a common trend for a while, and still to an extent is, for people to like go to an artist and say, hey, I made your art but better in AI. And it looks like shit, admittedly, but The whole point is like, you no longer have this power over us. This sounds new, but this is also something the Nazis did. The Nazis waged a war against art at the time. That was their whole gallery of real art versus degenerate art. Remember, the Nazis had a gallery where they showed off degenerate art. This was art that was too ethnic, too sexual, too whatever, too cool. For the Nazi regime to approve of it, and it ended up getting way more attention than the other art galleries available at the time because it was more interesting. The only art that the Nazi government wanted to promote was the same old shit. Bland realist yeah, I mean, you know what kind of fascist art was acceptable in Nazi Germany. You know, they had their like adjacent art deco trend. There was like Italian futurism. You had like romantic semi, like not modernist, pre-modernist paintings of like, what if a bunch of white German boys are playing by the river or whatever. You've like, yeah, neo-Roman shit, neoclassicist shit. They had a very limited retinue of stuff that they could care about because those were like, that was like real art to them. And as a consequence, Nazi Germany was boring and artless. Genuinely it was. Most of the really cool, like, wow, the Nazi aesthetic was so cool stuff that you see is made up in modern interpretations of their stuff. Nazi Germany did not look like Warhammer 40k. It also did not look like Man in the High Castle. You can take a look. We did this before on stream. You can take a look at Nazi architecture, the stuff they built. It really sucked, man. Genuinely, they looked like the boring gray corporate office buildings that you probably see in downtown like all the time now. That was their shit. They didn't. It was. No, it wasn't gaudy. It wasn't gaudy. It was artless. It was really boring. Yeah, it was borderline brutalist. Just big concrete blocks. I could not believe that the gigantic, the unfinished thing that they were building, that the world's longest building, they were building like a resort for Nazi soldiers, and then I think they eventually finished it, and this is what it looked like. Guys, get ready for it. This is at the time, I believe, the largest building. Here. There. This is one of the Nazi mega projects that got stalled because, you know, there was a war going on. There we go. Right there. See? It's just a big resort apartment mega stretch long building. Fantastic stuff, right? Ooh, wow. But you like this, right? I will concede that there are some tendencies to the Italian futurists. Look, okay? As we all know, fascists are often closet homosexuals. I think they had some particularly talented closeted homosexuals in Italy. It was Italy, man! And also, they didn't take their fascism seriously. No one took Mussolini seriously. Come on, let's dial it back a little bit, okay? No matter who was in charge in Italy, what was the same? Artisans in the mountains of the Alps, sipping on wine and coffee, having 400 calories of cigarette smoke a day, and occasionally producing artistic masterpieces. They sleep a combined 14 hours a day. It doesn't matter if you have Mussolini in charge. It doesn't matter. You could bring back the Holy Roman Empire. It doesn't matter, okay? That's what they do. And you know, okay, sure, that continued through Mussolini. The Nazis had a much stronger cultural hold on their borders and all within, and as a consequence, their shit was boring and artless. I got distracted again. I'm very sorry. We were supposed to be going over the Trump press briefing, you know? Anyway, like I said, boring and artless, genuinely. From a loveless man who like gets no attention from his father outside the extent to which he can be useful as a political and business tool, just like lifelessly regurgitating this because they heard that it was open season on making shit up about the left, as if they weren't already doing that. What even inspired the cum drinking meme? They're mad that Tim Walz made a joke about JD Vance couch, a reference to an existing shitpost, not him creating it whole cloth. So they desperately thought, like, we're just making stuff up now, and they came up with this. This was the best they could come up with. Deeply weird behavior. Yeah, and also very unfunny. It's not funny. The original couch meme was very funny because it was authentic shitposting. That does make the difference. If anything, they've kind of cemented the JD Vance couch thing into like cultural longevity, you know? They kind of like guaranteed that it would be cemented because they're obsessed with it. It's like the weird thing. If they hadn't responded to the weird thing, it wouldn't have caught, but all of them freaked out about it. The right wing was like doing speeches and op-eds on how they're definitely not weird. Tell the paper that I'm not mad. Yeah. And because it matches the vibe. Well, a big part of the joke is that if you look at JD Vance and look at how he talks, it totally tracks that he would couch. He just looks like a weird sexless incel. It's just it fits perfectly, you know? He could easily be behind any one of the anonymous 4chan green tech shitposts about how he like tied a fleshlight to his bed and or so. Like it's so easy to imagine him in that position. The cum drinking thing doesn't, it like Tim Walz is just such a normal guy. It just does not track at all, not even remotely, you know? Yeah, he has phrenology, and Tim Walz just doesn't have horse phrenology. I'm sorry. I thought the story was that he love in his sofa. Wasn't that true? No, that wasn't true. It was a Twitter shitpost. What was the original shitpost? JD Couch original joke. I mistyped like 17 times in that. That's crazy. Oh yeah, here we go. Can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times bestseller to out latex gloves shoved between two couch cushions. Vance, Hillbilly Elegy, pages 179 to 181. That's funny. It's an authentic shitpost. It got a lot of attention. It refers to an existing thing, Hillbilly Elegy. It has the cadence of like the way one might respond to that were it a real thing. And like, again, compared to this, deeply embarrassing. Yes, it also, Sade, you're correct. It's also spiritually true that JD Vance couch. That does help. All right, we need to move on from this. You know, a lot of I can only go on about the artlessness so much. I really do mean it, though. I do believe that conservatism ideologically removes people from the ability to make art and humor. I don't think it's like a 100% thing. Of course, there are funny people out there that are right wing. It's not a 100% thing. When I talk about trends, you know, like Russia earlier with democracy, sometimes people like, well, in your statement about the cultural preferences of 100 million people, I know of an exception. You. Fuck you. Go graze on grass, you sheep. God almighty, you're annoying. There are fascists who are funny, who produce good art, what have you. But I really do think they're overwhelmingly the exception. And I think there's a reason why the artistic centers of all societies overwhelmingly are full of queer people and left-leaning people. Left-leaning political beliefs encourage one to be critical of power and convention. The conservative mind is one that makes a person look at an authority structure or a social norm and go, oh yeah, of course, things are the way they are. That's not funny. It was the job of the jester to mock the king through veiled language. You have to be critical of systems in order to make fun of them. You have to defy expectation to make people laugh. It requires subversion, and conservatives don't like that. And yes, the jesters were gay. And gay people love jesters.